Welcome to the Eastern Reign. This is a new Roblox game. It opened in February of 2025, and this is a May video. So they've had about 3 months worth of updates, 3 months of developing, and in the past little bit, there has been a lot of growth. It's been exciting to see how it's been coming along. So, if you're new to this game, let me give you some tips. Just go straight to the armory. This gun right here, the AK-74, is my personal favorite. At least for the opening, right? You have these. You start out with these few weapons. Obviously, I'm not super far in the game. Only level 17. There's not a really fast way to level up in this game. It's just how much you play the game. That's really about it. So I like the AK-74. It's basically preference at this level. There's not really any difference. These are all AK-based guns, so they'll behave in similar manners. If you can, saving up and buying guns saving up is probably the best bet. All of the mid-level guns, or all of the first level guns, they don't really have any scopes. So if you like scopes, I'm sorry to say, there's not really a good choice for you. This one right over here, I've never used it, but a lot of these beginner scopes, this is just a they're scopes, but they're not zoom. So if you're looking for a zoom scope, you're basically out of luck until about level. I believe I unlocked this one around like this one right here. I'm not even trying to pronounce that. However, this is a Canadian-based gun on the AR-15 platform. The AR guns I've heard work better. I haven't really noticed, but I find it's pretty much personal preference. However, I don't really like the M16s. So this gun has a scope. This gun was not I don't remember if it was a zoom scope or not. Actually, I just equip it. My personal favorite one is the M10. And I'll go through and I'll show you all the different guns. Secondary, you can get a secondary gun. It's very nice if you're caught in the middle of reloading. Reloading in this game is very slow. It's not a quick throw out the mag, toss one in. It's a gently set a mag down, put a new magazine in, and now you're ready to go again. Equipment, this game does slightly feel a little pay to win. I'm not going to lie. These two drones up top here are Robux only. Some of the other gear in this game you can purchase with Robux and cash that you earn by just playing the game. However, these drones are really cracked, and I'll show you why in here a second. If you're already familiar with this game and understand how these drones work, you'll know why people hate these, but how big of a difference they can make in a game. Outfit. So with any war game, if you haven't played, this game has almost no assists. It'll tell you if you kill someone, and that's about it. There's no aim like marker. It's very rudimentary, and if you're into that, it's a fantastic game. That's why I play this game. So to make this game better, you want to mask these chunky Roblox corners as much as you can. A simple camo tactic taught in the United States military is just breaking up the silhouette, right? If I take this helmet off, you can see this very nice head shape, right? That is gold for snipers. You toss one of these helmets on, and all it does is just roughens it up a little. And it doesn't look like that big of a difference, but when you're prone, in this game, you look at these characters from head on. I'll show you hopefully when, I'll see if I can find any teammates. Vests, same thing. The vests, I believe they all act the same. So this $225 one acts the same as $80 one, but I'm not 100% sure. That's probably subject to change. Helmets, however, are very useful. They can save you from a headshot. So in this game, a headshot with any gun other than this level 35 50 cal is you basically need the 50 cal is basically one shot, one kill, right? It is goated. But of course, if you have level 35, you play this game, you've been dedicated, you basically deserve one shot, one kill at that point. This guy up here, D53R, he uses this gun. He's a goated player. Very fun. He helps out new kids. Awesome guy. But back to helmets. Any gun that's not the 50 cal basically takes 2 or 3 headshots. That's how helmets work in this game. And in real life, it's something similar. But so start off, get a good helmet. Helmets are really important. If anything, get a helmet before you even buy a vest. I think they give you a free one, so if you can, try to get one. But here's some of the free gear that I was talking about, the Comtax and the PVS-31. This is your night vision, and I'm not really sure what this does. I've never used it. Talking in this game is done mostly in this chat, right? Red, you got to turn around. So, and hey, look, there's D53R talking to some people. Masks, again, it helps. The reason my character looks the way he does is it's all black. It's as dark as I could possibly get it, and that's just a tactical advantage. It's not any reason my character doesn't usually look like this. My character usually has a white t-shirt on. And you'll see in a second that's a horrible battle decision. So this skin you see is entirely tactics in mind. Clothing, I'm not using any clothing because the Roblox clothing I am using does a really good job at masking everything. Obviously, if you want, I built this entire skin for free. If you really want to, you can pay Robux and buy, like, you can even make your own camo shirts. You can go all out in this game, and that's what I really love about Roblox in general. So without any further ado, let's just play a few rounds, see what it's like. So one thing I wish they would update is the map. This map is the same for all the maps. It's not super helpful because the layouts would change. Sometimes C and D will actually be closer to the red zone than they are the blue zone. And it's a little tricky. You don't really know until you're on the map physically. So we're going to start off with the AK-74. This is a basic introductory gun, and we'll get right into it. So first right off, we're in the Suburbia map. This one's nice, but I think on this one, you have to, not on this one, I believe, so C and D, I'm pretty sure are closer to blue spawn, but what team am I on? I honestly don't know. Looks like I'm on red team. So I think we'll expect a little more, I think we should expect more blue people. Not 100% sure. They kind of just blends together. Eventually, oh, there we go. That's how quickly you die. I think that was probably D35R with his gun because that was a pretty quick kill. So heading back in. So that was the AK. Wasn't a whole good intro, but I'll do some more work with it. What I really love about the AK-74, especially in this game, is the iron sights. I'll show you here in a second a gun that I purchased with high hopes. It has a zoom scope, or I had a high hope for its scope, and it really didn't perform as well as I liked it. So if you can, stick with iron sights. They block. They don't block as much of your view as other guns do. So we can see there's a guy over there. We don't know where he's at though, and that's one thing I love. One tip: don't sit in windows. That's how you die really quickly. If you want to live a little longer, back away from windows. You don't have to be all the way back here, right? If you're shooting through a couple windows, or if you're shooting through a couple doorways, it gets a little, you know, I don't have very much to see, but somewhere right around here, this should give me good enough distance. I'm in the back of the room. So is he, but he's dead. So obviously this dude sniping is really good at what he does. So these trucks are great. They are one hit, one kill with the drone though, and they draw a lot of attention. So just be mindful. If you hear drones in the sky, they make a very distinct drone noise. Just be mindful. This map is huge. I found there's a lot of walking. These maps tend to be really big, especially for the player count. There's a guy right there. So you can see iron sight doesn't block a whole lot of view, but it's a little hard to hit. And I didn't, you don't know if I hit him. Right, I could have knocked his helmet off. I could have done anything. There we go. Solid hit. So we're going to run all the way over to B. One good tip about this is once you get to these zones and all you have to do is walk in it, and it'll start depleting their percentage. So basically, that zone is at 100%, and the second I walk into it, it'll start counting down. And I don't have to be in the zone for it to count down, which is great. So I can run in, I can touch B, I can run straight to A and touch A, and it'll start counting down and keeps them from spawning. You can see up in the top of the screen, I can't really look up there. You can see in the top of the screen, B is now white, which means no players can spawn there, which is fantastic. If you're trying to do any good tactics, get in a truck, and just blow straight to the enemy points. Try not to die. Try not to get blown up by drones. And all you got to do is just be there for a split second. And as long as there's no people there, you can keep them from spawning in. And that can give your team enough time to move a couple trenches forward and just start overrunning people. One thing is now that B is being attacked, or now that B is being drawn down, I would expect people to come from over here. There's a big road on this side, and then there's a big road over here. And they'll probably be coming up from A, since A is the closest point to me. So we'll have to keep that in mind. See, we're already getting shot at from, looks like behind us. I died. So that's the AK-74. I'll show off another one of my favorite guns. Not one of my favorite guns. Actually, I'll show off my least favorite gun. The gun that I had really high hopes for, and one that I wouldn't really recommend saving up for. And you'll see why, because it's perfect. It's perfectly terrible at night. So this gun is the the one I can't pronounce, the C8 IUR, we'll call it, the Atticur. So the Atticur, the reason I don't like this gun is purely because of the scope. So it's got a zoom scope, it's great. That looked like a drone hitting the truck. So those big explosions will kill you. That's an RPG. That's a secondary weapon you can buy. They're great. They're a non-pay-to-win, great item that really just can honestly turn the tide of a round. So if I go and I see a guy, you can see these huge red bright lights in my eyes, and I can't see crap. Right? If I'm running, I generally like to play this game in a dark area, just because it gets really dark at night. It gets hard to see people. Right? I don't know how many times I hit him. I do know I'm being shot at though. You can see that tracer that flew right by. So so the reason I looked over here is there was a big flash of white, and that I assumed was a person loading in. You can see that this person is wearing a lot of black, but I can see just a little bit of skin. And for me, as a sniper, as wanting to be a sniper, that's gold. That tells me, hey, there's a person right here, other than just a big green dot. So this gun, not a personal favorite. I would recommend not buying it. It costs like $2,500, which takes a while to save up for. If I do the math super quickly, you get $15 per kill and 10 XP. So kills they take a second. If you're on a good map, you can make $500 a round if you're doing good. If you're doing pretty well for yourself. So if $2,500 broken down into 15, or broken down by 15, is approximately 166 kills. Now I can do decently well and get 20 to 30 kills a round if I'm a fresh round using my gun and just maybe got just a good level of focus in. 20 to 30 isn't too bad. I've done 50 and 60 round games. They're not super common. So obviously it takes a few rounds to save up for, so just be mindful. I would not really recommend this gun. So I'll show you how to use those. So once I mag dump, once I'm out of ammo, right, you'll see that it doesn't really tell me you ran out of ammo, but it does start the auto. Once you click, it starts the auto reload process to a degree. It will load in a new mag. So we're going to go ahead and mag dump. I saw that was a person. I saw, what was that, Osama bin Laden? Yeah, what is this? Oh, okay, I thought I'm just trying to figure out. There we go. Okay, so I click, it reloads, and then I have to click again to chamber around. You can see he draws his hand towards the center of the gun. You can use F to auto cycle, and so I'm literally throwing rounds on the ground, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. But I can't tell you how many times I'm in the trenches, I mag dump someone, and then I go to start shooting, and he locks the slide and loads it up. And so by the time I'm ready to shoot and go to shoot, the gun isn't even loaded or ready to shoot. So just keep that in mind. Make sure to just tap F. For me, it's F. I don't think you can really change the controls in this game. This is all keyboard, US standard keyboard, by the way. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. We'll talk about the drone. So the drone, which is one of my favorite items, I tend not to use. It can be very easily abused. You push T. This is the bomb drone, by the way. Don't buy the FPV drone. It doesn't have bombs. And I'll show you why bombs are great. So you push T and you activate thermal camera, essentially. Little glitch with thermal camera. If someone dies and respawns while you're using thermal camera, you have to refresh, and you'll see new people. I'll run over to B, and we can see if anyone spawns in. If you'll see movement, but you won't see the little that little blip. Those dots are people. We like to go for the most amount of people. That would be a truck. You can see how they're all moving in unison. So I'm going to start sliding over here, and it looks like, yeah, so this truck, oh, looks like someone already got to it. Yep. Let's see. So I will walk through how to use this drone. Let's get some height, because people will shoot. People shoot at drones because they're very frustrating. So for me, I like to look all the way straight down. I can see he's walking. I can kind of predict where... Oh, nope, couldn't predict that one. You can generally predict what they're going to do. Right, I can tell he's going to go through that crevice. There he goes. This guy is stuck in the corner of a fence. So we drop a bomb, kind of get the cursor somewhere on him, and he drop it, wait a bit, and he dies. It's great. I love it. But now they know a drone's here. So I'll give you a good tutorial on how to use these drones. This is for for the bomb drone specifically. This does change depending on the drone. So to move the drone, W and S. That's how you go forward for W and S for backwards. A and D will turn you right and left, right? Simple standard WASD controls. E, however, will make you go really fast to the right-ish direction. It's not a perfect right, it's more like a strafe right. So, and same thing for Q, right? It makes you strafe left, makes you strafe right. The good thing about this is W is slow, E is fast. So you can see I can cover more distance if I turn sideways, do E, and I can just go right over to this guy and miss. That happens, especially if you're not cracked at the game. Dang, double miss. I'm not even going to bug him anymore. He deserves to live. Let's see. So, he's not moving. Oh, well, he wasn't. He's going to go into cover, and I can't hit him. You can kind of get them if they're in the house. They're just a little harder to. So, it might be patched, but it looks like all the new people spawning in actually do. There we go. See that guy right there? You can't see. You could really hard to see him. You can just see the movement. But if I hit T, and I go back in, boom, he's there. So, little glitch in the game. Like I said, 3 months old. Don't worry too much. But we're going to bomb that. We get a kill. That's 15 bucks that I can use in the game. It's wonderful. So, let's go over. Bombs, or drones, have 5 bombs. So, I think this will be one of my last ones. If you really cracked at this game, you'll be counting your shots. I'm not. I don't know if this... It doesn't really tell you. I'm looking around. I can't really see it. So, we'll just... I believe this is my last one. Yep. So, once you're done out of drones, you can really just leave the drone up here for surveillance. Doesn't really hurt anyone. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to respawn and load up a new gun. And this is my personal favorite gun. This is one I recommend saving up for, working towards. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. And hopefully it makes you have a more fun Eastern Rain experience. So we head over to the armory, scroll down. Oh, don't scroll down. This gun that I'm about to show you is even cheaper. So this gun is $2,500. This gun over here, this one's only $2,150. So it's $350 cheaper, I believe, if I do the math. Yeah, $350 cheaper, which is a lot of kills, right? So the last gun needed 166. This one needs only 143. So you're saving about 23 kills, which could be a whole round. And rounds are about 20 to 30 minutes in this game, so they're a long time. So load up this new gun, and I'll show you some of these lower level ones too, so you can kind of get an idea of what you'd like and what you might want to try out. So we equip it, and I'll show you why this is my personal favorite gun as a level 17 Eastern Rain player. Load up, we can, I believe A and B are paired together, and C and D. So we're going to go load at B, and then we're going to rush towards A. Yep. So, almost the exact same gun, right? The base is the same. The only difference is the scope. And instantly, you can see you have zoom, and you have a dark reticle. At nighttime, it's a little hard to see. I wish I could have shown you, but I haven't had any issues off the top of my head, so maybe it'll work perfectly fine for you. Let's run all the way over to A. Again, like I mentioned, this game's a little longer. It takes, to get to a point takes some time, but that's okay. I do wish there's more people. More people maybe more people in a smaller battlefield, I think would be a lot of fun. That would draw, I think, a lot more people to it. But just here to have some fun. Running through open fields like this is generally a bad idea, as people like, if D53R was here, I'd be cooked, right? He'd see me, and I am a sniper's dream as being an open field. So try to stick to buildings, run in and out. Looks like there's probably a drone, or that was an RPG, but that big explosion. Explosions will disorient you, and they'll you'll be aiming, and you'll go to move your cursor, and it'll like move it, you move it right, and it goes left. So just be prepared when something explodes near you. You will have all your controls messed up for a bit. It's great. So let's find the way out of here. You can probably, yep, there we go. Some windows you can pass through, some you can't. Sometimes you get lucky. See, there we go. There's a second person too. So, probably not going to win that fight. So we're just going to take a new position. You can see a new person over there. But I totally missed someone else. So, kind of a little introduction to Eastern Rain. I hope you enjoyed. I'll show you some of the lower level ones. And that way you can, low level guns. And that way you can explore this game, get an idea, see what guns you do like, see what guns you don't like. This was the first gun I bought after leveling up. AK-74 because I really wanted to try the scope, and I was disappointed. It is just a simple red dot. And if you like red dots, nope, not red. Sorry, there's a different gun then. Not a red dot, but just a simple, like, I don't even know what you'd call it. Not an iron scope, but about as helpful. You can see it's all right. I don't mind it. It was a cheap gun, and it got me on my feet. So we're gonna go ahead and load in a new one. I might even buy a new one for you guys. Let's see. I don't want to take too much time on this recording, but we'll see how it tends. Go to Armory. So you can see that gun is just based. It's this almost the exact same gun as looks like as one of these, just with that not iron scope. This one has a suppressor, which is pretty cool. You don't really, if they're far away enough, the suppressor doesn't matter. But if they're close, a suppressor doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't think a suppressor would be super helpful because if you hear a shot to your right, you'll hear it to your right with or without a suppressor. But I guess the range will be closer. I don't know. If you're listening in and paying attention, you'll basically hear where people are, where they're because of where they're shooting. You can't tell who is shooting. You can just hear shots. So if you're trying to figure out if it's a teammate or if it's a friendly or a foe, yeah, good luck. You can do a quick look around, and then you can see if there's any dots above their head. If there's a green dot from this location or from the direction of sound, then you know, hey, that was probably my friend shooting. If you're hearing a bunch of shots in the same area, but you only see one green dot, you can probably bet that someone is fighting your teammate, and it'd be a good idea to help him out. So I believe this was the red dot gun, the BCM 14.5. So we'll go ahead and load this up. Go to B. Yep, simple red dot. Nothing too crazy, but that was one thing I was disappointed in, as I really wanted a gun that got me zoom. Right, you can see it's not super helpful in the long range. In this case, we have 3 of the points. So I'm kind of hesitant to use my bomber drone, as it does give me a bit of an unfair advantage, as they are a Roblox only item, and they're a little hard to defeat because the only way you can defeat them is by shooting them, and shooting them is hard. I'm not going to lie, it is tough. So if you shoot them, pat yourself on the back because you're doing what most people can't. So these look like windows I can't jump through. We'll see though. If I crouch maybe? Nope, and that probably just because that bar there. So, there's one I could probably jump through. Let's see. There we go. Just got to be wide enough. And it looks like I have to go over here. This fence, I probably can't jump. Yep. Sometimes you can like kind of ladder up these, and then you can jump, and that's how you get onto a lot of these roofs in this map. Especially like this roof over here. These buildings usually have like a stack of firewood next to them, and you can usually crawl up the firewood, jump on the fence, walk along the fence, and jump on the building. And that lets you, it's just more sniper vantage points. So again, open fields, not a good spot to be, but the closest, these guys are all at A, and I have 3 points that are way ahead of me, so it's probably safe to be in this field. But out of good practice, let's just run closer to one of these buildings. So there's a drone, and he looks like an FPV drone, which means in order for him to get kills, he has to dive bomb us. And I'll show you guys how to use those FPV drones actually, because they're different controls than the bomber drone. So just be mindful of that. If you go to buy one, I really only recommend buying the bomber drone. The FPV drone is good because it's faster, so you can really get, if you're looking for the oh, don't lose that. If you're looking for, oh, I don't know how I died. Yeah, if you're looking to get in and out of places quickly, FPV drone is great. Other than that, use the bomber drone and just go up super high with the thermal cams. It's hard to see the drones, especially, and if they're far enough away, you can't even see them. Like if I'm super high in the sky, oh, I was going to show you how to use the drones, but if I'm super high in the sky, I won't drop any bombs. Right. I can see them. They can see me, but at this height, it's so ridiculously hard to see me because I can move like this, right? My view basically doesn't change, but for them, they have to hit a whole different target. So we're gonna go ahead and just leave this. Actually, we're gonna go back here. Sometimes if you're in the drone and it gets shot down or bombs, you'll be glitched and you can't use your gun. To fix that, I don't know how. I've tried respawning in, reloading in. Some stuff works, some stuff doesn't. Okay, let's go ahead and load in the FPV drone, because that'll be one that some people want to use and they want to know how to use. The controls in this game aren't stated, so it's kind of like sometimes you just got to ask people, how do I use this? And generally the people in this game are very helpful, and they want to help you out. So I found some pretty toxic players that will actually give you good advice. So even if they're toxic and frustrating, you could probably get some good advice from them too. So FPV drone, you can see them already dropping. So to stop from dropping, I push space. Oh, maybe not. W, not space. One of those buttons goes down. So FPV drone, different controls, like I said. And it doesn't look like there's thermals, but they might be a different button. Let me just spam. Okay. So W for up, S looks like, looks like S doesn't really do much. But A and D, same thing on the bomber drone, makes you turn. Now with this drone, if you touch your mouse, if I move to the right, it turns me to the side. And if I move to the left, it turns me to the other side. I really recommend trying not to use that. But you can look up and down. And so it can be helpful sometimes, but not. If you click, it doesn't really do anything. But you can see I can come in. I can get some good insight on what's happening on the battlefield. Don't hit trees. They will kill you. But I can see, hey, there's a guy over here. But after that, there's not really much I can do other than be like, oh, there's people. So one thing, like I mentioned earlier, is camouflage. Ooh, go up, 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 up. Okay. One thing that I mentioned earlier is picking out a good skin. It never hurts to have a good tactical advantage in this game. And you can see right here, this guy is a white blotch. And if you zoom right in, you can see he's not wearing a helmet or any vest. So he's basically gold, right? He is, as a drone, as a person shooting, he is gold for me. That's someone I would want to be shooting at. So we're just going to go ahead and drop in on this guy, because why not? It says I even eliminated him, so that's bonus. So as you can see, I'm stuck in the no signal screen. This can be frustrating. Reset your character, respawn, and you might be lucky enough to land a non-glitched respawn, where you can essentially use your gun. If you do glitch, you probably won't be. Anyway. Let's see if I did. I'll deploy, or actually I'll grab my favorite gun again. This is the M110. So, good, like I mentioned earlier, I've heard rumors they're supposed to do like attachments, so maybe in the future it doesn't matter what gun you buy, but for right now, as of May, kind of just have to buy the drone, or buy the gun, and use the attachments. Victory. Can't even get a chance. Anyway, thank you a lot for watching. I'll mark chapters, and hopefully this will help you learn how to play Eastern Reign. A little tip. Don't vote Grozi. Grozi gets spawn camped. It is a very big map, and all of the points are next to one of the enemy's spawn, and then the other enemy's spawn is a huge open empty field away from all the points. So what happens usually is people will spawn in on Grozi, and if you're on the wrong team, you have to get into a truck and drive across an empty field to the 4 different points that you are usually heavily guarded, and then to cross the open field is basically death, right? Doesn't if you're in a truck, you'll get drone bombed. If you're walking by foot, you get sniped. I would not recommend Grozi. All these other maps I've had tons of fun on. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and leave comments if you want to know more about Eastern Reign.